Greetings, I'm Jonathan Spear. Everything in this mod pack is ridiculously expensive, and welcome to Age of Engineering Supershorts. Today, we're making a nuclear reactor, among many other things. But first, why don't we talk about the 100 things I did between episodes. Right now, I'm busy purifying a Sinister bee without the aggressive trait. Rain, right now. Daytime just started. I'm gonna have to deal with this all day. By the way, if you haven't noticed, you can look at the top right of the screen in order to find out the time. I made those 12 generators and set up a better floor. Also, you'll notice a white border around my base. Those are the walls of the basement. Look, it's basically exactly the same as my old basement, but with tasteful flourishes like symmetrical failures in lighting. Also, symmetrical successes in lighting. Corner pillars of a slightly different color from the rest of the walls. Dire wire, a fanciful roof. For wiring, conveniently labeled wiring. Isn't it beautiful? You may also notice I have started to store my circuits in bins, because bins are smart and don't care about stack sizes when they store items. So this basic bin will store 4,096 circuits. Unfortunately, this does not give me the luxury of a drawer controller, but I'm betting I can do something RF tools are actually additions once I get AE. Yay, no more rain. I built the second in power that runs at full speed. I built a staff of traveling and temporarily powered it with an energizer until I got my vibrant capacitor bank, which is right here by the way, a drawer for stone dust, and over 2000 GP. So I could make an elytra out of glider wings from Ender.io. That 2000 GP recipe is totally from the Peaceful pack, by the way. I considered the Dragon Egg Mill, but that needed Wyvern cores. By the way, I can now go to the end. Look, it's totally devoid of all life. And now I can get Endstone, which lets me get more Ender Pearls for my Moonstone, because even though I'm not surrounded by Endermen, so I can get Ender Pearls really easily, I am surrounded by Endstone. Besides, why torture people who are playing in Peaceful? Endstone enables me to craft things like the Dragon Egg using End crystals. Nether Stars, by the way, have a Peaceful pack recipe as well. Anyway, let's get down to business with our nuclear reactor. I already have everything I need. This design will produce 420 EU per tick, and it cost all of this stuff. So even though I've got a fair amount of iron and copper, it'll still be a while before I can make it again. Haha, I'm not dying a horrible death! Anyway, let's do this. You can't place down a reactor chamber directly, but you can place down a nuclear reactor, and the rest of the reactor chambers will go on its sides. There are 9 chambers in the nuclear reactor, but it starts with 3, only adding the other 6 when you add the reactor chambers to the multi-block. I moved it here because I don't have that many glass fiber cables, and I can't be bothered to spend the diamonds right now, even though I have 52 diamonds here, and over 2 stacks of diamonds here. Design requires 7 reactor plating, 7 quad fuel rods for uranium, though we'll also work with MOX fuel, 11 component heat vents, 1 component heat exchanger, and 28 overclocked heat vents. The fact that IC2 only allows 1 item in any slot is super useful for automation, so I can just shift-click them all in. Given a redstone signal, the reactor will turn on. What I want to do with this nuclear reactor is much more important than the reactor itself. These solar panels cost a lot of capacitors, and capacitors are very complicated recipes in this pack. Expensive or not, they're annoying to make, but they have really cheap UU matter costs. The logical conclusion is to make a mass fabricator setup, and it is going to be obscenely expensive. Let's start with a simple 2 recyclers. This mod is my life. 2 electronic circuits, 2 compressors, any stone, and 2 recyclers. You'll need 4 transformer upgrades, which cost a fair amount, and I'm making a bunch of overclocker upgrades. You can make 12 at once if you make 18 coolant cells. 4 transformer upgrades. You use MB transformers and 2 times insulated gold cables. There's my 2 recyclers right here, put transformer upgrades in each, and 8 overclocker upgrades each. I'll make 2 ejector upgrades. You can shift right click on the side of a machine from IC2 to set which side it outputs to. And now for the mass fab. Look at that insane recipe. Luckily for me, I already made some empowered payless blocks. I don't have enough for Stonia yet, so now is the time to craft it. 8 advanced machine casings, 36 energy dust. I just now realized I've accidentally been crafting 4 of these things. So hurrah for 36 energy dust then. I'll compress 9 of it into an energy crystal, 4 advanced circuits, a Lapiton crystal, and a mass fab. I moved the recyclers and the mass fab up so that I could give them cobblestone generators, which automatically output to the top, and I can't be bothered to get Ender.io conduits. Try to turn it on. Change the wires to run so that the recyclers get power before the mass fabricator. The power this reactor puts out is more than enough to supply both of these recyclers if the mass fabricator isn't sucking it all up already. Now they're running just fine without any annoying power lag. And look, I'm getting UU. Next and final 3 parts of this build are more complicated. This is the recipe for a scanner, this is the recipe for pattern storage, and this is the recipe for the replicator. I don't even have enough resources in my void ore miner for those things yet. I'm just gonna calmly let my mass fabricator make UU matter and do other, more important real life stuff. Now that I look at it, these recipe costs aren't as bad. 2 advanced RE batteries, 2 MB transformers, 2 high voltage transformers, luminators, crystal memory, more energy dust, an MFE, rapidly fluctuating inventory space problems, an almost isolated tricky bee, 17 advanced circuits, 3 frequency transmitters, 2 mining lasers, glass cables, 3 teleporters. Pity these frequency transmitters don't stack or I would be able to show that I'm making 3. But there they are. Reinforced glass, a scanner. To make reinforced stone I need several things, including a CF sprayer, CF powder, water inside the fluid solid canning machine, set to fluid enrich, with a CF sprayer in the top left corner, and CF powder in the middle. You can see that instead of fluid going in here, it's going in here. Construction foam. 32 iron scaffolding, made from iron fences. It takes 100 millibucks of construction foam to make one piece of reinforced stone. Look, decrease weather sounds. Just like with wood scaffolds, you can left click on the bottom block to build up. Right click to spray. It eventually dries, but you can right click it with sand to speed up the process. Don't walk into it. It takes a while to break. Replicator. Actual crystal memory, which does not stack. Oops, I can't make the pattern storage because I'm missing modular storage. And I can't make modular storage because I'm missing a machine frame. So it's time to enter age 6. To get nutrient distillation I need a vat, 2 fluid tanks, and the vat. The higher the multiplier the better. I think. No more rain. Spider eyes. A fermented spider eye. Drop of evil. Zombie head. Looks like 1 bucket of water isn't enough. Neither is 2. But 4 is. And 4 water makes 1 bucket of nutrient distillation. Okay. It'll be enough. This carpenter simply will not accept my nutrient distillation no matter what I do. Let's try a fluid tank set to auto output. Still nothing. Breaking and replacing it fixed it. Look, beetroot. This way, I can get a coarse flour, which I'll place on endstone and wait. Look at it go, it's so fast. Meanwhile, I'm restocking my reactor. Just so you know, I'm actually placing my replicator here so it doesn't interfere with this line of power. With a scanner here. Clearly this scanner isn't receiving any power because the reactor isn't on. And I'm going to place a lever on this mass fabricator so that when I turn on the reactor, none of the power goes here, while it should be going here. Tiny piles of uranium-235 are an enormous bottleneck. Thankfully, once I get MOX nuclear fuel, I won't need to care about those nuggets, because you can get 3 plutonium from a depleted MOX fuel rod, and each MOX fuel rod requires 1 MOX nuclear fuel, which requires 3 plutonium. I will definitely be duplicating plutonium. I don't have that much uranium, and I don't want to waste it on tiny piles. This is all I need. Also this. And this. And this. Now I can make end rods. Here goes everything. I'll place this trophy in the basement, modular storage, and finally, pattern storage, which I'll place right here. 28 enriched uranium fuel, 7 quad fuel rods, and a running nuclear reactor. Now that this recycler has stopped hogging power, I can run this scanner fully. It'll take 8 minutes to scan all 4 of these items together. Meanwhile, I'll set up a fluid tank here to receive the liquid. Now that the capacitor is scanned, I can press save to save it to the pattern storage. No need for crystal memories. It only takes 4 millibuckets of UU to make a basic capacitor. I'm taking advantage of the large scanner buffer in order to run this mass fab. Iridium shards cost 13 millibuckets. The machine chassis cost 8 millibuckets. Plutonium costs 213 millibuckets. I'm also scanning a machine frame. That's it for today's episode. Next episode, well, who knows? I have all sorts of capacitors now, so maybe I'll upgrade my solar panel. Or I can make a molecular transformer and upscale my IC2 power with ultimate hybrid solar panels. Unfortunately, all of those things are really expensive, so it might be a while before we get another episode. By the way, machine frames need 12 millibuckets of UU. As always, if you have any feedback, I'd love to hear it. I hope you enjoyed.